Today, we're going to try to unravel a really fascinating mystery. We're heading to Japan because if you want to know the secrets to a long and happy life, well, this might just be the place to start. Our journey begins in a neighborhood in Tokyo called Sugamo. People call it the Grandma Harajuku, and it feels like a total time capsule. It's really the perfect spot to ask the big question: why do the Japanese live so long? Okay, let's just start with a number, a huge number. In Japan today, over 2 million people are over the age of 90. I mean, think about that for a second. That's almost 2% of the entire country. It's an absolutely incredible statistic, and it tells you that something really special is going on here.
So what is their secret? Is it some simple, single thing? Or is it a much more complex mix of culture, diet, and just mindset? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out.
All right, before we get to the really deep insights, let's cover what most people think they know. These are the common theories, what I like to call the usual suspects in the case of Japanese longevity.
You've probably heard a lot of these before, right? The daily cup of green tea, the smaller food portions, a diet packed with fermented foods like miso and natto. Then you've got the famous bath culture, great healthcare, being active, even things like low crime rates and a deep cultural respect for the elderly. And look, all of these are probably part of the puzzle. But the real story, it's so much more personal than that.
To find the real answers, we have to go beyond the statistics. So we're heading out to Tottori Prefecture, right into the protective shadow of Mount Dyson, to talk to someone who has actually lived this reality for over a century.
This is Tomiko-san. And get this, she's 106 years old. She was born in a completely different era of Japan. But maybe the most amazing thing about her? She's almost never been sick. Living in this area, blessed with pure water from the mountain, her life gives us our first powerful clue.
So what does she say is her secret? It's just so beautifully simple. She says her strength comes from a life of physical work. Working in the fields every single day wasn't just a job for her, it was training for her body. For Tomiko-san, the link between working hard and staying energetic is crystal clear. And, there was a deeper purpose behind all that hard work. Her family started making tofu way back in 1954, and not just to start a business. It was because of a town health directive. See, a lot of the locals had high blood pressure, and they were encouraged to eat more soybeans, so their work had this clear, community-focused mission right from the very beginning. You can just see the direct line here between work, nature, and health. They use local soybeans and that pure mountain water. The whole process is traditional, with a stone grinder and this gentle, natural pressing technique. The result isn't just food, it's a pillar of the community's health, and it's delivered fresh every single day. Okay, so Tomiko-san's story really hits on hard work and diet, but there's another layer here. To understand it, we're going to meet Nakajima-san, a Shinto priest who has a really surprising perspective on things. At first, Nakajima-san's philosophy sounds pretty much like what you'd expect. He believes a good life comes from a deep connection with nature. He eats food he grows himself, pumpkin, brown rice, and he stayed incredibly active by climbing the nearby Mount Dyson hundreds of times. A peaceful, simple, harmonious life. And then there's this. Yes, the same man who lives this simple life surrounded by nature also drives a Porsche. He even shares it with his friends, other car enthusiasts, because he believes that to stay young, you absolutely have to have fun. This is such a beautiful contrast, right? It tells us that a long life isn't just about discipline and simplicity, it's also about joy and passion. It's that mental release, that spark of excitement that keeps your mind just as healthy as your body. Which brings us to our final piece of the puzzle, and it's embodied by the amazing 97-year-old Mr. Seiichi. If Nakajima-san showed us the importance of having a passion, Mr. Seiya is going to show us how to share it. At 97 years old, Mr. Seiichi is just full of life, and he channels all that energy into his passion, karaoke. 3 times a week, you'll find him at a community center singing his heart out. For him, it is so much more than a hobby. It's how he releases his mind, connects with other people, and stays young. His life offers us this profound set of lessons. Find something that truly lights you up, that energizes you. But here's the key. Don't do it alone. Be active in a community. Surround yourself with loved ones and share that joy. It's about constantly making new memories, not just living in the past. So, after hearing from Tomiko-san, Nakajima-san, and Mr. Seiichi, what does this all mean for us? We have these incredible, personal stories of longevity, but what does the future actually hold? This comparison, right here, it really highlights the challenge. The generation we've been learning from grew up living humbly, eating whole foods, and having these incredibly deep community bonds. Modern generations, not just in Japan, but everywhere, we live in an age of convenience, fast food, and really different social structures. It makes you wonder, can this amazing legacy of longevity even continue? So, in the end, the secret isn't some magic pill or one specific superfood. It's more like a recipe, a holistic recipe for a life well lived. It's the physical discipline of hard work, the spiritual connection to nature, the mental stimulation you get from a personal passion, and the emotional fulfillment that only comes from deep community bonds.
And so we end with this question. The wisdom is all right there, passed down to us from people who have lived it for over 100 years. But in our fast-paced modern world, can we slow down enough to actually listen and learn their lessons in time? That's really something for all of us to think about.